It's funny, I remember lying in bed when I was 7 and 8 and thinking of the number of wars that the United States had been involved in and wondering whether or not, when I reached draft age, there would be a war.
Since winning its independence, the United States has been involved in 6 major wars, an average of 1 every 30 years.
That was my thought about war. When would the next one come, and would it come when I was of draft age? This is probably not part of your childhood. Sirens would go off.
That signal means to stop whatever you are doing and get to the nearest safe place fast.
We would get under our desks and cover our heads. That was in case of an atomic attack. Pretty much by the time you're in 5th grade, you have learned that that probably isn't going to work. I think the 2 main psychological/political determinants of being born when I was the atomic bomb and the Holocaust. That had something to do with being born in 1948. And it having been a real choice on my parents' part, they were still terrified, and they thought, should one have children, given what has been revealed about the world? What one would see, not often, but sometimes, and it might be a friend's parent, or it might be the person who sold me hot dogs at the train station, were the tattoos of the concentration camps. That physical sign of the camps.
These are children who survived at Auschwitz. Their parents and relatives had been murdered by poison gas. Most of them have forgotten their names and have nothing left to identify them except the numbers the Nazis tattooed on their arms.
The Holocaust and the atomic bomb, you lived with those 2 things. And how you were going to respond to that was what determined your politics and your life.
It's over. He came from here. You know each other.
Ich kenne sie nicht. Wer weiß, wer das ist? Ich habe nichts mit ihnen zu schaffen.
Wir sind hinter der Regimentskasse vom 2. Finnischen her.
Swiss has been entrusted with this cash box. He's going to see that the opposing army doesn't get it. And for 2 reasons. One, if they find him with the cash box, then he was a member of the opposing army, and he and the family will be killed. And 2, he's been entrusted with the cash box, and he makes a big deal out of that.
Enough already! Go on, you goose! Sergeant here's trying to help you.
If I don't have it, we'll help you find it.
He would tell you. He's not that stupid. Don't wrench his shoulder like that!
I think you're still in the hopes that there's some good alternative. The play is a much more infernal machine. It's no matter what they did. It's mass death that's at issue here. It's the war. They're all gonna die.
He's strung up between life and death, but the sergeant's still open to talking and taking. So, it's just about money.
Ich denke, sie werden uns rausgeben. Schließlich sind's keine Wölfe, sondern Menschen und auf Geld aus.
They're not wolves. They're just men. After money. Yeah. Corruption is the human equivalent of God's mercy. As long as somebody's on the take, you can buy a lighter sentence, and even the innocent have a shot at justice.
On the one hand, what she does is she tries to bargain down the sergeant so that she doesn't have to pay as much of a bribe to save his life.
I can't give him the whole 200. You should have bargained him down lower. If I'm left with nothing, any thug who wants to can have us in a ditch.
She knows the only way to protect her family is to make her business thrive. But what she's not capable of is seeing that at a certain point, protecting her business is going to destroy her family.
Go back and tell him. I can't do 200. I'll give him 120.
They're not going to agree.
She bargains too long, and Swiss Cheese ends up being killed. And her line actually is,
Seems to me I haggled too long.
Drum roll, lights, and...
just absolutely devastating because it's a mother who, by bargaining, has killed her son. But on the other hand, you look closely at it, and it is absolutely clear that if she had paid everything she had to get Swiss Cheese, she would have been condemning the whole family to death.
Okay, Meryl, can you just walk forward as if you've heard the gunshots?
She's in the 30 Years' War. She lives in Central Europe during this holocaustal, catastrophic, unending war. And when you watch Meryl do it, I don't think you sit there going, well, he shows you mother courage. You shouldn't have put your kids in, if you want the war to work for you, you have to. I mean, you don't think that. You think, oh my God. I mean, the way that he sets up that thing at the end of scene 3 when she has to pretend not to recognize this body, it's hideous. I mean, she's just seen her son murdered.
Okay, Waleed, go ahead, on you. Thank you.
You never saw him before you served him supper?
Let's go throw him in the pit. He's got no one. Who knows?
What we have here is lights just on Mother Courage, our work lights going on. Mother Courage sings the songs of the Great Capitulation. I Know You.
And lights up, and we're in the same. Okay, great.
After she's denied Swiss Cheese's body, I had a tight spot stay on Meryl's face the entire time while the scene transformed behind her.
And you see the bench coming through now. Thank you.
And then the scene pops up on the clerk saying, I know you.
I know you.
She has not left that moment. That moment is still right there with her.
Go ahead.
I know you.
It's a beautifully wrought scene, fueled as it is by Swiss Cheese death.
I want to make a I'm making a complaint. I hit nobody, and if I just take what they did to me, it'll look like I think I'm guilty of something.
And then seeing another young boy come in, about to lose his life for something stupid.
Come out, you crook! I'm gonna butcher you! Refusing me my bonus after I was the only one willing to swim in that river, the only one in the whole battalion.
And then figuring it out, oh, that's how you came in, asshole. You have something to tell him. If he listens. Who cares if he listens?
Hat ein Gaul vom Obristen gerettet, kein Trinkgeld gekriegt. Der ist noch nicht lang genug dabei.
Oh, let him loose. The man's not a dog. Doesn't have to be held on a leash. Bonus is a bonus. Perfectly reasonable to expect to be paid. Why else bother being brave, huh?
He's drinking in there. Yeah. I won't let myself be treated unfairly.
For how long?
Wie lang vertragen Sie keine Ungerechtigkeiten? 1 Stunde oder 2?
That's the first question you should ask. Why? Because it's no good figuring it out later, after all the skin has been flayed off your back with the whipping you're gonna get for insubordination. After the whip has blistered all the skin off you, and you're raw and bleeding and in chains and begging for death because it hurts so bad, then it's a little late to realize that maybe, on second thought, actually, you can live with being treated unfairly.
It's an old person saying,